God, sorry. Hi, good evening. So this is the fancy way of hello. I'm very happy about this setup tonight. So just very happy. Hi. So I'm currently here in, of course, the company Cebu, our very own sponsor for every live video that we're ever going to have. So hello there, good evening. This is episode 18 of Freedom and Freelancing already. Oh my God, episode 18, that's crazy. And this is how to start a freelancing business in 7 days or less. So hello there. Is it weird to see me like very clear and very oily and not no lipstick and all? So if you are watching right now, let me see how many people are there. 21 people. Hi. Let me see where you're from and let's see who's watching. So comment in the comment section. If you're here with me, say hi so I know you're here while we are waiting for other people to join us tonight. And while you are doing that, let me announce to you that we are actually opening. We are opening the Create and Rise Academy again for 2 days only. So this is a very short reopening that we're going to do, and this is only for payment plan. So the reason why we're doing this is because, as you might have already know, next month the enrollment of Create and Rise Academy is going to be a recurring payment already. So we're not going to do the one-time fee lifetime access thing anymore, so that this thing is going to be sustainable for years to come. So this thing is going to be sustainable for the years to come. So that's why we're doing that. So we're opening Create and Rise Academy for a short 2 days, starting earlier this morning up until tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. So if you do not know yet, Create and Rise Academy is an online institution where you have the ability and you have the chance to become a highly paid freelancer. Become a highly paid freelancer, and of course you are going to know the tips and tricks, the same tips and tricks that I did, that other people did, that highly paid freelancers are not telling you about. All of those things will be inside the academy, no holds barred. And I'm just not going to spoil the fun, but let me tell you that everything inside the academy is like focused on to freelancing and how you can build an online business by exchanging your skills and services for money, right? So there you have it. We have 48 people with us tonight. Hello. We have Marie. Oh, diba? Marie, Charissa. Oh, no, not Charissa, but Charisse. We have Ria, we have Faye, Ariane, Mia, and Jel. Hello. It's like, oh my God, guys, hello. So this is another time where we're going to learn a lot of things about freelancing, and I have been receiving a lot of messages about people, when they discover my Facebook page, the first thing that they ask is how to begin freelancing. But maybe the very first question that you should ask is, what is freelancing really? Because some people think that freelancing is simply what? Like working from home? That's what it is, right? Mostly people are saying, oh, you have the ability to work from home and become a freelancer. But freelancer is completely different from what a lot of people think it is, right? So people think that when you're a freelancer, you work from home, you have the ability, the time and location independence. Yeah, that's true. But with freelancing, you are not tied to anyone. Like, you can definitely fire your own clients. And I'm saying this because I have tried firing my own clients. You can definitely fire your own clients. I'm not encouraging you as well to fire your own clients, but I'm saying, like, you have the ability to choose the person that you're going to want to work with rather, and you also have the ability to choose whatever price you want to put in your skill, right? So unlike going to freelancing sites like Upwork and Fiverr and Online Jobs PH, where the thing is, not even an online jobs PH, but in Upwork in itself, there's this thing where you have to bid, right? Like, your price is going to be the bid. And that's about it. Like, you can't say anything, you cannot negotiate, you can't increase your price. Your price, the price of your skill, doesn't matter what kind of skill set you are, doesn't matter if you're a beginner, intermediate, or an expert in the skill that you chose, the price that you're going to have is the bid. And what if that bid is only like $100 and that's 5K, and that specific project is taking you 10, 12, 20 hours to do, and you're only being paid 5K? So that is like a complete rip-off. And what I teach here in the Facebook page is that you go out there, you build your own brand, you create a skill, and you, what do you call that? Like, you create this business and position yourself as an expert, not as a mere service provider. Because that's the thing nowadays. We just position ourselves as a service provider. Like, yay, yeah, I do what? Graphic design, I do website design, and that's about it. But we never position ourselves as an expert. That's why people, other clients, are not very much willing to pay for us, because who are we? We are just graphic designers. We are just website designers, and that's about it, right? So there's no gist to it. There's no kilig. There's no excitement, because you are just a service provider, and that's all. But if you position yourself as an expert in your industry, and that would also require you to become really, really good at it, right? I'm not scaring you, of course not. But if you really want to earn a lot, you have to be really, really good at something. And it doesn't require you to have multiple skills. It doesn't require for you to have multiple skills. You don't need to have multiple expertise. You just have to be really good at one and become an expert at it, and then you can earn a lot of money, right? So a few days ago, I shared something in my page saying something like this interview that I had with Frances, the person behind Take It or Leave It, which is a podcast in Cebu City, and we were talking about how you have to specialize a skill. I was telling her that you have to specialize a skill so that you become a specialist and not a generalist or a commodity. Because when you are a generalist, when you are a master of a jack of all trades and a master of none, it's very hard for you to price yourself, because you wouldn't know that this is actually something that is, for example, you do not know that $200 is actually the price of the book cover. But because you were a generalist, you're just like randomly rambling prices. And also, it hurts a brand. Remember my very, very much favorite metaphor, you probably heard me a million times saying this, that a doctor has its very own specialty, right? Each doctor is different. There's an optometrist, there's a dentist, there's a surgeon, and even surgeons have their very own specialty. They operate only specific parts of the body. And basically, that's the same thing with freelancing. You have to be really good at something. You have to be a specialist so that a lot of people are going to pay you for that, right? And that's exactly why doctors earn a lot, because they studied so many years just because of that specific part of the body. Spending like 5 to 10 years just to study the heart. And heart is just one organ. Like, how hard could it be to master one organ that would take you like 5 to 10 years to study? And that's basically the same thing with freelancing. If you're going to dedicate yourself to building a really good freelancing business, then you have to be really good at something, right? It doesn't have to be multiple things, right? You just have to be good at one and then become really good at it, and position yourself as an expert. Like, hey, this is what I'm good at. Trust me. I know what I'm doing. And if you do that, and if you face your client like that, my goodness, who's not going to pay you $1,000? Right? Okay, there's that. So today we are going to talk about that exactly. How are we going to start a freelancing business in 7 days or less? So inside the academy, this is what we call the Create and Rise Master Plan. So I created kind of like a system, right? When you are going somewhere, when you are wanting to go, for example, you want to go to Korea or Japan or something like a different country, the first thing that comes to mind is, how can I get there? Right? Am I going to have a stopover in Manila? Am I going to have a one trip to whatever that may be? And I have the same thing inside the academy. This is what we call the Create and Rise Master Plan. So Create and Rise Master Plan is actually a roadmap. So this is like kind of like the roadmap that every mentee inside the academy I do hope so. They are familiar of this. They are very familiar of this because this is the step-by-step process that we are imposing inside the academy. So this is kind of like a roadmap. If you want to become a freelancer, you are going from 0 to 6 figures every month. So your point A, your current situation is your point A, and then your point B is your goals, right? So if you want to become a freelancer, then most likely you are what? You want to, oops, wrong camera. You want to become, you have to go through different stages or different things so that you would become a highly paid freelancer. And there are 7 things that we do, or we impose inside the academy. I'm actually trying to find it and I'm not sure why is it not ready as of this moment. Okay, there you have it. This one is the Create and Rise Master Plan. So if you're going to see here, there is, let me see, I'm going to make it smaller so that you can see it properly. All right, so here's me. Okay. So this is the Create and Rise Master Plan, and this is something that I've created originally. You cannot Google this, okay? You cannot Google this. You're gonna try to like Google Create and Rise Master Plan. This is originally created, so that you cannot Google this. You can only find this here on my page. Right, so there is 7 steps, right? You can see here in the iPad there's 7 circles. We have Precession, that's the first one. Ascension, production, attraction, stabilization, negotiation, and manifestation. So inside the academy, we have here 7 modules, and all the 7 steps is comprised of 1 module. So that is the 7 steps, or that is the 7 things that you have to undergo so that you become a highly paid freelancer. So let us start with the very first one. I'm going to enlarge this so that you can see. Okay. So let's start with the very first one. That is precision, right? So the very first step that you have to do when you are wanting to become a freelancer is what we call the stage of precision. So when you say precision, it means that you are precise. Like when you are precise to something, when you are fully laser focused about something, that's when you are precise, and that's when you exhibit precision. When you are accurate, when you want to hit not something in a bullseye, you have to be really accurate and precise. And that's the very first thing that you have to do when you are becoming a freelancer. You have to know who are you going to serve, right? You can't just become a freelancer and say, I'm just going to go freelancing. I'm going to be a graphic designer, and everyone who needs graphic design is the person that I'm going to serve. You can do that to some extent, but when you are building a brand, you can't just say, hey, I'm a graphic designer for everyone. Who's going to know you, right? You're not a specialist. That's what I'm talking about earlier. You're not a specialist. You are trying to be a generalist, trying to serve everyone, but no one actually knows you. Like, who are you a graphic designer for, right? A graphic designer for who? Graphic designer for doctors, graphic designer for entrepreneurs, graphic designer for personal development coaches. Who are you, basically? Who is that person that you really want to serve? What is that person's job? What is that person's income bracket? Is that person a female or a male? Is that person here in the Philippines, or you want to serve someone abroad? Who is that person? And for you to become precise and laser focused, you have to know these things. You have to identify what we call ideal client avatar. Oh, diba? Dang, 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 dang. You have to identify your ideal client avatar, because you have to know who is it that you're going to serve, right? Apart from this precision, this whole thing in precision, one of the things that you are going to also consider, aside from the person that you're going to serve, is the skill that you're going to offer. Of course, you cannot just go out there and be like, hey, I'm a freelancer, and then somebody asks you, what are you going to do? Or what do you do? Or what do you offer as a service? And you're like, anything? You can't say that. Of course, how is a person going to hire you if you're just going to randomly say, oh, I do everything, I do anything? That just doesn't make any sense. Again, you're becoming a generalist too wide for someone to actually get you, right? So you have to be precise, you have to be specific. Somebody says, you look like my sister. Oh, we must be brothers then, Ferdinand. Okay, so going back to that precision thing. So that's the very first stage. In your day one, we're talking about building a freelancing business in 7 days or less. 7 days. Day one, become precise. Precision. That's the first thing that you have to remember. Precision. Who is that person that you want to serve, and what's the skill that you want to offer? You have to be precise. Who is that? What is that? Right? That's the first one. Then the second one here is ascension. Okay? Now ascension, we are going in the ascension modules inside the academy. We are talking about the skills. So we are, what do you call this? We are talking about the skills and the pricing. So how are you going to manage a freelancing business if you do not know how to price yourself? Okay, so that's the first thing that we're doing. The second thing rather that we're doing inside the academy is to ascend ourselves. Ascend meaning go from the bottom or up, or go from the bottom or up. Go from somewhere down below, going to some next level kind of, right? So that's our second step. So the second thing that you have to do if you want to become a highly successful freelancer is price yourself accordingly. You have to know if your skill is still in the beginner stage, intermediate, expert, or advanced or expert, right? So those are 4 skill levels. You have to identify which of those 4 are you currently. And of course, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You cannot just say, oh my God, I am already an advanced graphic designer and you don't even know how to use Photoshop. How is that making sense? How is that making sense if you're just going to say like, hey, I'm a graphic designer, I'm an expert graphic designer, yada, 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 blah, 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 whatever that is. And then turns out you do not know how to use Photoshop. You just know how to use Canva. And now you're calling yourself an advanced or an expert graphic designer. That just doesn't make any sense. And that would also blow your cover. That means your client is not going to believe you. Your client is not going to justify the price that you're giving the client. So a lot of freelancers, when they see my page and when I say that you become a highly paid freelancer, the first thing that comes to their mind is that, how can I make more money? How can I become a highly paid freelancer? Like, I haven't really explained this really, really well, but becoming a highly paid freelancer is the end point. Like, that's where we're going. But that's not the beginning. Like, that's not where we're going to start, right? How can you become a highly paid freelancer if you haven't even trained yourself to become really good at one skill, right? Do you get me? Do you understand my point? Like, becoming a highly paid freelancer is the end point. That's the point B. That's where we're going. But there are actually processes on how to become one. You don't just go there with a blink of an eye, or with buying or with enrolling to Create and Rise Academy. Oh my God, I enrolled in Create and Rise Academy. Tomorrow I'll become a highly paid freelancer. It's not like that. You have to know the processes and actually go there. That's why we have this thing. We have this roadmap because that's where we're going. That's our step-by-step process. That's our guide. Kind of like when you are Dora and you want to go somewhere, the first thing that you're going to call is the map. So Create and Rise Master Plan is the map to how to become a highly paid freelancer. And you're not going to go there, with a day or with 30 minutes or with simply enrolling into the academy. There's a process that you have to undergo, right? So that's becoming a highly paid freelancer is our point B rather, but there are processes that we need to go through so that we go there, okay? So that is the second one, that is ascension, right? Ascension is how can we ascend from a beginner level skill to an expert level skill so that we can charge high, right? That's ascension. What are the things that you have to do so that you would become a better graphic designer? If you're a beginner graphic designer today, then what are you going to do so that you become intermediate and then advanced and then expert so that you can charge more, right? So that's step number 2, which is what we call ascension. The third one is production, okay? So there's that, production. Production is where we're going. Inside the academy, I call this the product suite. So we do not only think about what skills are we going to offer, but how can we create packages so that we become stable, okay? You can't just keep on offering your skills as per hour, right? A lot of freelancers, I should be near my mic. A lot of freelancers in the Philippines, what they do is that they only charge per hour, okay? There's that. There's a lot of them. And usually this per hour rate goes somewhere from $2 to $5 or sometimes $5 to $10, depending on how good you are at the skill. But it would be a jaw-dropping thing. It would be a crazy jaw-dropping moment if you hear someone who is charging, what, $25 per hour. You'll be like, what? $25 per hour? Are you crazy? Are you serious? Is that even real? Yes, it is real. It is real. A lot of people are starting to have courage or starting to build courage to charge that much because they understand their value. They understand their worth, right? And that's when you position yourself as an expert as well. So you do not have to be scared to be rejected by a client if you have positioned yourself as an expert. You have to let go of the outcome. You know, when you're trying to negotiate or try to close a deal with a client, you have to let go of the outcome and be like, I don't care if you're not going to get me as your graphic designer. I can still find other people out there because they're going to need my help. I'm an expert at this. I should be able to find clients, right? So there's that. Okay, now, going back to the third one, which is production. That's where we create packages. We create the monthly retainers. If you're going to have monthly retainers, that means someone is going to pay you monthly for the same price for the same project. That's monthly retainer, right? And we create the package. We create kind of like the package or the things that are included in that monthly retainer, and we make sure that it's affordable or it's good for the client, it's benefit based, so that it would be easy for us to pitch that to the client. Right? It'd be easy for us to say to the client, like, hey, I actually have a monthly retainer if you want me to maintain your website for you every single month. Monthly retainer. Do you want me to create social media graphics for you every 30 days so that you would have a consistent flow of images that you can post in your social media platform? Monthly retainer, right? Things like that. So that's what we do in stage 3, which is production. The fourth one is client attraction. This is when things start to go hard. This is when things start to like go down. It's like when you are starting to create or build a brand, the first thing that you have to do is to eye on the places where your ideal client avatar is hanging out. Like you could probably think like, oh, some authors that I really want to target is some authors that I really want to target is actually in this group called the Raiders group, and there's like 50,000 members are in there, right? And then you can start building your brand out there, creating value posts so that people would find you valuable. Okay? And there are a lot of freelancing sites that are sprouting here and there, and although I am not going to completely 100% discourage you not to go there, because of course that is your own choice. What do I do? What am I going to do if you're ever going to go there? I don't really. That's your decision to make, right? But for me, if you are going to wait for days for someone to approach you in that freelancing site, or for your application for a bid to be approved, you are wasting your time. And time is money. Time is something that you cannot buy, and time is something that you cannot put back or get back. Like, that is very valuable. And if you can turn that money or turn that time into something worthwhile, then why can't you? If you can build a freelancing business and work hard for it so that it becomes a huge business, rather than waiting for someone to message you in that freelancing site, wouldn't you rather go that route and build a freelancing business and earn as early as you can rather than waiting for something that you cannot even control? Like in my methodology, or in my, what do you call that? And the way I think about things, it's like kwantamad, right? Filipino folklore. This guy is going to sit down in an apple tree and try to wait. I cannot even understand why it's apple when apples don't really grow in the Philippines, but it doesn't make sense, but whatever. But if one is just going to sit down under the apple tree waiting for the apple to fall, how long is that going to take? You don't even know. You're probably just going to sit in there for like 5, 6, 7, 12 days waiting for nothing, and you don't even know when is that specific time that apple is going to fall in your mouth. Why don't you climb up the tree? You know what I mean? Like are you just really going to wait for that fruit to fall in your mouth? Wouldn't you just rather climb that tree? Same thing. If you can build your freelancing business from scratch and really have clients from somewhere else, wouldn't you do that rather than having to wait for a bid or an application in a freelancing site to be approved? It's a no-brainer, right? Excuse me. My throat. Okay, so there's that. So that is client attraction. That's one of the things that we teach inside the academy. The fifth one here is negotiation. Of course, it doesn't what do you call that? This thing is very important as well. So all of the things that I've discussed here, the 7 steps that I'm discussing inside the Create and Rise Master Plan, is very much valuable. And now we're talking about negotiation. One of the best things that you could ever have as any business person is negotiating something. When you go to what kind of analogy am I going to? When you go to ukay-ukay, my goodness, diba? There's someone who is like selling a pair of pants for 5 pesos or 10 or something like that, and then there's also a really nice pair of trousers that you saw that's white and that's nice, and you think it would really look sexy on you or whatever that is, but it's sold for 200 pesos. Now, are you just going to buy it for 200 pesos, or you're really going to try to negotiate that person so you can get it for much cheaper? And this negotiation thing takes what? It doesn't even take confidence. It just takes logic. I'm not confident at negotiation. I swear to God, believe me when I say that when I am trying to negotiate on a person, I'm shaking. I always when I'm having a Zoom call with a client and I'm trying to close a deal, I don't really show my face because it shows that I'm shaking. But there's a pattern that you can do or you can follow so that you can close a deal. And one technique that I can really give you is assure that person that you can do the job within the said deadline. That's all you have to do. All the person is wanting to hear from you, all that prospective client is wanting to hear from you, is if you can do the freaking job. Can you do the job or not? Because if you cannot do the job, then I'll go find someone else. That's just all they need to know. They're going to start asking for your testimonial and sample of work. And what does that entail? Why are they asking for your testimonials and sample of work? It's because they want to know that you can do the work. And if you're going to completely repeat that in the call of in your client call, then of course they're going to be conditioned that, okay, this person can actually do the job. And that's basically what you need to do when you are negotiating something. You don't need to be amazing in English. Like what I told you in one of the live videos in the past week, I said my English accent is not the one that is bringing me money. It's my way of communicating to clients. It's the pattern of negotiation, okay? Just assuring the prospective client that you can actually do the job. And that's negotiation, right? Next one is stabilization. People say that freelancing is not stable. Okay? You probably know someone who is like not in our generation, probably like older than you, or like someone who really wants you to finish studying is going to say like, you're going to do online? Why? Is that stable? Is that a stable job? Is that going to be a stable income? Is that going to give you a stable money every month? And let me tell you this, my mom didn't really understand that before. She was telling me like, what, are you going to discard your license? Because I'm a licensed kindergarten teacher. She told me like, what, are you really going to discard your license and not really go back to teaching? Why? Is that freelancing going to ever be stable? And then later on, she saw my income. She saw my income just becoming consistent every single month, and she never tried to mention it anymore, rather. So people might think that it is unstable, but there are actually ways on how you can make a stable freelancing business, and it's all about pricing. How can you make someone pay you every single month so that you would have a stable income? That's the secret. You can create pricing systems. One example was that one thing that I told you earlier, which was the monthly retainer. If you can do that, then that's problem solved. If you can have someone pay you $400 or $20K, one client, imagine that. If you can have one client on a monthly retainer of $400, that's $20K every single month, consistent. One client for $20K, my goodness, where are you going to find that? You're probably thinking like, what? How can I do that? Just pricing systems, my friend. That's how you can stabilize your freelancing business without actually trying to do extra effort, right? Okay, there's stabilization. Last one is manifestation. So this is the last one, and I'm not really, what do you call that? I cannot say that I am an expert of personal development. I might be posting a lot of things about like personal development and like changing your changing your perspective about money and yourself and your confidence and things like that. But in reality, I am still having like, I am still having so many emotional challenges, I would say. It's a constant development, of course. But one of the things that you have to also do, or you have to also have as a freelancer, if you want to really become a highly paid person, is you change all the things that you start slowly changing the way you see things. Okay, Char. Woo! You slowly start changing the way you see things. What got you here won't get you there. Okay, that's the most basic quote that I can ever tell you. What got you here right now won't get you to 6 figures every month. Okay? This is a hard pill to swallow, but if you're thinking right now that you can get 6 figures just by becoming the same old self that you are, then you are wrong. Okay? My God, 2 years ago, when a client asks for a revision, I freaking cry. So I am a graphic designer. I still am. I design things. And when a client asks me to revise or to edit a design, I cry. Because it's very crazy, frustrating to revise something that you thought was already good. And I wasn't getting paid well before because I did not know how to price myself properly. So one book cover back in the day was only $60 for me. Let me see, how much is that now? $60 times 51, that is $3K. Okay, so back in the day, I get paid $3K for a book cover, and that would take me 9 hours to make. Okay, imagine pouring your heart out on 9 hours for a book cover that you thought was amazing and was good. And I was like also self-biased because I felt like I was already good at the graphic design that I'm doing. So I was like, oh, it's fine, 9 hours. She's going to like this. And then when I sent the draft, and when it was returned to me, there was like tons of edits that needs to be done. So imagine 9 hours for only $3K. It's crazy. And the most frustrating part is that after that first email, after that first set of revisions, you send it again, it comes back to you with another set of revisions. So it's crazy and frustrating. And 2 years ago, I cry on that shit. You know, I cry on that and I go, oh my God. And my boyfriend is like, my boyfriend can really vouch for me. He just laughs at me. And it's not a bad thing in our relationship, my boyfriend and I. If we laugh to each other about something, that means we understand it. You as a person, you the one laughing, you understand it in a higher perspective than the one who is crying. So we don't insult each other. Like, it's not an insult for me when he's laughing when I'm crying, because I know he understands why I am crying. So it's not like, oh my God, your boyfriend insults you when you're laughing, he's not comforting you. Our relationship is very different. So going back to that. So I cry a lot, and then my boyfriend is going to say, okay, let's dissect this problem properly. Why are you crying? And I'm like, oh, because there's a lot of revisions. So why are there a lot of revisions? Oh, because I thought that I did it well, and for some reason the client didn't find it well. Okay, so why is that? Why do you think your opinions matter? Is that your book? Is that your book cover, or that person's book cover? And then later on I would realize that, oh, okay, I'm actually insane for crying for such things, right? So that was me 2 years ago. But now if you're going to ask me and if you want me to revise on something, go ahead, girl. you can have me revise multiple times, because also I found a pricing system where I can charge more when they're revising more. So I'm wiser now, I would say. I'm wiser now than I was before. Okay. So, oh my God, super sidetrack. So our last part here is manifestation. So what does manifestation have to do with becoming a highly paid freelancer? It's going to make you play the long-term game. So if you are someone who is like right now very emotionally sensitive, you're going to learn it all the hard way when you start to become a highly paid freelancer. A highly paid freelancer comes with a ton of responsibility and a ton of mindset shifts. Like, you have to have a different view of money to earn more money. If you think that money is evil and having more money is greedy, and pricing yourself properly would have you would let you have a lot of clients that are going to hate you because you are greedy, if you're going to start thinking like that, then it's really going to affect you, your confidence, your self-esteem, and at the same time, it's also going to affect your pricing. So everything is a domino effect. If you're not going to change yourself now, you're not going to really be able to reach that goal of yours, right? The more you desire money, the more should you desire to become a kinder, happier, and more deserving person for that money. And that's what I always pray for. I'm not really like how I was before when I was a kid, where I really like devote myself to my very own religion. But I always pray that I become deserving of what I receive. It's like, Lord, if you're going to give me 6 figures every month, make me deserving of it. Don't let me have 6 figures if you think that I don't deserve it. So I always pray that I become deserving, so that I become aware of the things that I'm doing. I become aware of the responsibility that I have in my hands if I'm earning that much. You know, things like this. You don't get to talk about this a lot when you are trying to become a freelancer, because all we have to think about is like skills and how to market ourselves and how to do this and do that and do this and do that. But the last part, the manifestation, the very last step of you becoming a highly paid freelancer is really just becoming yourself and becoming a better person to become more deserving of that business, so you can play it the long game. Your business is not going to last if you're just here for the money. Tell you that. You're not, whatever business you're trying to build, regardless if it's freelancing or whatever it is that you want to pursue, you're really not going to get there if you're just all in it for the money or the fame. Okay? It's a hard pill to swallow because I know a lot of you are going to want to say like, hey, I really want 6 figures every month because I want to help my family and friends and all that kind of things. Yes, sure. But if you're not going to be selflessly devoted to your client to create that project, you're not really going to have it. You have to be able to give in more value than you take in payment. Okay? All right, so that is the 7 steps. So that's day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have here precision, ascension, production, attraction, negotiation, stabilization, and manifestation. So there's that 7 steps, 7 days, and I hope you have learned something. If you have questions and clarifications, now is the time to type in your comments so that I would be able to answer them while, before we're going to end this session for tonight. So I hope you learned something, right? I'm going to post this. Actually, this one is already in the page, Create and Rise Master Plan. But if you need a copy of this, I'm just going to post this in the page or in the comment section of this video later on so that you would be able to see it. Okay, right. So let us go through the comments. Again, questions and clarifications. This is your time to shine, okay? If you have questions and clarifications, go ahead, type it in. This is the time where you can ask me questions. Go ahead. Because I don't really have the time anymore to like go through the messages on the Facebook page and answer all your questions. So if you have anything else in mind, anything at all, just comment it so that I would be able to answer them. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, so people are tagging people. Ooh. All right. Ren says your words are so inspiring. Thank you. Griselda is saying, cool FB Live. How did you do that? A bunch of technical stuff. A bunch of technical stuff that took me like 30 minutes to create. All for the good of you. Sure. Okay. Ferdinand was saying earlier, you look like my sister. I like your accent. How do you share the screen of your computer in FB Live? Well, there are tons of softwares that you can use. You can use Ecamm Live. You can also use OBS or Open Broadcaster Studio. What? The OBS is actually free. This one, the one that I'm using right now, is not free. I just resubscribed after I found out that this is the one that is very compatible with my DSLR. So there's that. Hi friends! He's saying that charge by the value that the client is getting. A lot of mindset work needed on this one. Never stop following this woman here. Thank you. Maria just got here. I would love to join the academy, but I'm still out of budget. Maybe someday I can. As of now, I'll keep on watching Miss Demi live. Maria, you are in the current, like, really good timing because we are, if you do not know yet, my good friends, there's 49 of you. If you do not know yet, we are opening the Create and Rise Academy for 2 days only for payment plan. Okay? So payment plan as in like you have to pay 5 payments of $19 or 1K for the next 5 months. So 1K every month for the next 5 months. That's payment plan. You don't need to pay until you pay today, and then the next payment is 30 days later, and then another 30 days later is when you pay. So it's like a consistent like payment plan, and we cannot accept Gcash and PayMaya as of this moment because that wouldn't really allow us to monitor the payments. So if you're going to ever want to enroll, you have to have PayPal, debit card, or credit card so that you would be included in the payment plan. Message me on the Facebook page if you need any help with if you need any help with the payments, okay? And then if you do not know yet, Create and Rise Academy is a platform. It's an online institution kind of where you get to learn how to become a highly paid freelancer, as in the step-by-step process of what's inside the Create and Rise Master Plan. So all the how-tos, the techniques and things that you need to have as a highly successful freelancer, all you can learn inside the academy. And then we also have basic skills training of highly in-demand skills that a lot of clients are seeking after, right? So it's not only marketing, it's not only how to build a freelancing business, but there's also basic skills training that you can undergo and have with you for lifetime access if you are going to, of course, join the academy, okay? And again, this is a very short reopening. We are not opening it again until November 10 to 14. And we're changing to recurring payments. So recurring payments, as in it is going to be auto debited and going to be deducted to your bank account or to your card automatically every 30 days. So that's why we cannot have Gcash or PayMaya, because we cannot do that. You have to have funds, right? Every single time with Gcash and PayMaya. So we have to be secure and make sure that it's a debit card or a credit card or a PayPal account. Okay, there's that. And dun 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 dun. Ferdinand. It's not just something. I learned a lot. Thank you. Thank you also. Lucena is asking, does it happen to anyone here that you rejected a client or leave a client unexpectedly, and in the long run the client is already bad mouthing? How do you handle that? I don't handle it. Gazini. Gazini Ganados when asked, like, how do you handle your haters? I don't handle them. Same thing with me. If I have I don't really leave clients unexpectedly. I always tell them. Oftentimes clients do leave me unexpectedly, on the other hand, but if I am the one, like if I am the freelancer, I don't do that. Like I really make sure that I get into touch with them and really say that, hey, I'm not going to work with you anymore, this and this and this and this. But if this ever happened to you, well, use the bad mouthing for your very own advantage. Like if that causes you how to bad mouth, then make sure you're going to post your really nice works in your social media platforms so they could see that that person who is bad mouthing you is wrong, right? Laurie is asking, in the academy, do you also do in-depth courses like SMM, SEO, etc.? So I just recorded social media management today. Fun thing, huh? I just recorded, before this live video, I recorded a social media management course for my mentees. It's more likely tips and tricks, because social media management is very easy, right? You just have to create an image, post it on social media, things like that. But what I teach in my very own social media management course is the tips and tricks. Like how can you get so much engagement in that social media platform that you chose? So there's like 10 tips and tricks for Facebook and things like that, right? There's that. SEO, I might have to hire someone to do that, but that is exactly the reason why we are shifting to recurring payments, or recurring monthly payments, or monthly payments basically, because we want to hire instructors to teach inside the academy as well. Because SEO is not something that I'm really passionate about, although I know a little bit about it, but I'm sure I wouldn't be the most feasible person to teach that. If I really want to make the academy like an extraordinary academy where a lot of people are going to enroll and really learn a lot from it, I'm not the right person to teach SEO, basically. So I might be able to hire someone. Right? How to start as a freelancer, by Jengot Abmil. Sorry, you really have to watch the entire replay of this video. I just explained it entirely in this video. Abigail is asking, what if I pay in full through bank transfer? Unfortunately, I don't have a bank. I'm anti-banks after what I have experienced so many times. I do have PayPal, PayMaya, and Gcash though, and if you're going to pay in full, that's also completely fine. But that would be, I think it's 1K less than payment plan. So payment plan is 5K. Wait, let me see. Yeah, payment plan is 5 payments of 1K, and pay in full is 4K. Right. So you can contact me with that, and then we'll settle it. But the enrollment is not until 10 to 14. Okay? There's that. Ning Ning is asking, I'm going on to my very first project. I just passed my interview earlier. Tomorrow I'll be having an orientation. I really don't know what to expect. Will I be receiving a sort of contract? I don't know which to ask for. That is not actually freelancing. So I'm not sure if I'm the right person that you should ask about that. But yeah, you probably would be receiving a sort of contract. But that's not freelancing. That is like either work from home or, yeah, that's completely different with freelancing. Again, with freelancing, you are not tied to anyone. You are a self-employed person. You are your own boss. You choose your client. You choose your pricing. You look for your clients, things like that. So it's completely different. Okay? Yep. Everyone is saying thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so I guess there will not be any more questions then. I'll be leaving in 2 minutes, so if you have more questions and clarifications, let me know in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer it as fast as I can. It's already 7:50. I did not take my dinner yet because I was busy recording social media management course for my mentees inside the academy, but regardless, I am very happy that you have spent your time with me tonight. There's 39 of you that spent an entire hour with me. Congratulations, and I'm very happy. Thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. Now, I know exactly that you are wanting to learn how to become a highly paid freelancer, right? There's that. But the question is, how are you going to apply the things that you have learned today to your daily life so you would become a highly paid freelancer, right? Learning is one thing, but applying is another thing, and it's by far the hardest thing you have to do, right? So whatever it is that you have learned today, go apply it, go somewhere, do something, and then you are a little bit small steps closer to your dreams, right? Jangot is asking how to enroll in the academy. You might want to message me on Facebook for that. I will give you the I will give you the link after this live video. I'm also going to I'm also going to link the page for the information of the academy in this video. And there is that. Thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. Again, this is Demi Bernice. This is episode 18 of Freedom in Freelancing, sponsored by the company Cebu. If you are looking for a co-working space, if you want to have something like this, like a meeting room where you can discuss things with your fellow employees, co-workers, and things of that sort. If you are, of course, a freelancer and you're looking for a place to where you can work aside from your house, because you are already probably sick about your house, right? There's that. And yeah, you can do that here in the company Cebu. They have 2 branches, one in Mandaue and one here at the center of IT Park where I am. So there is that. You can contact them via the Facebook page, the company Cebu, IT Park, and Mandaue. All right, so there you are. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video, right? Bye bye.